So welcome everyone. We are back for round 6 of the Mechanics Institute Summer Championship. Joining me is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. We're doing one more lap here, closing out the show. And I'm taking a look at our board 1 match in this round. It's Alejandro Canales against Alexander Lenderman. And it's quite an interesting path to arrive here. So let's start at the...
I know this opening.
Yeah, is it
Caro-Kann?
It is Caro-Kann, but is all this book?
I think so. We're close to it.
That's book.
Yes. And now this is black. Usually didn't used to play like this, allowing pawn to e6. But now everything is playable. So
is that right? Jeez,
yeah.
I never would have thought. Like this looks like black is about to get crushed. And you're saying this?
Well, white doesn't have any pieces over there attacking. So yeah.
And then can't black play Queen G, Queen G3?
Black didn't play it, so I guess white would play King F1 and then just boot the queen away on the next move with knight e2.
And it stands to reason that Alejandro must be a little familiar with this line.
He's played it quickly, yeah.
Lenderman has faced Caro-Kann quite a few times in this tournament.
You mean he's played it?
Played it. Played it.
I guess that must be his main, his main thing. I'm not familiar with his repertoire.
So I kind of feel a little bad for Alejandro Canales because he's got 3.5 points and he is playing on board 1. Another player with 3.5 points in the standings is Rachel Tiong, who avoided Lenderman and avoided Elliot Winslow. And she's playing Mansour Mohammed on board 3. So this is sort of an opportunity for Rachel if she can put together a win as black here. She could potentially be second or third place in this tournament.
Has she played Alexander yet?
No, she didn't play Alexander nor Elliot.
Well, an opportunity to play these players should be embraced.
Oh, no, absolutely. I was just saying, and Alejandro, I'm absolutely sure would much rather have the opportunity to play one of these top players than anything.
Yeah.
But an interesting matchup on board 2 is Elliot Winslow and Alan Finkelstein. I think this will be a really good matchup between players. So
and here we go again with this Benoni stuff. So.
the mechanics be.
But wait a second here. White just played h3, and what's preventing black from playing knight takes g3?
Oof.
Yeah, or I mean, rook e3 is a powerful positional sacrifice too here. White's blundered here, I think. Something's gone wrong, and Elliot has a good chance right here now.
And you think he's deciding between rook takes, bishop, and knight takes pawn?
Or seeing if there's something that's, I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but it just jumps right out at me that knight takes g3 is on the board.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's the antidote to that. Well, rook e3 looks as an extremely strong positional sacrifice, I would say, too. Fe3, knight g3 with one pawn and all the dark squares.
And then bishop h6.
Or bishop e5 and queen h4 and everything else. Everything else that can follow these kind of positions.
Kitchen sink.
Yeah, kitchen sink. Forks, spoons, knives, axes.
Axes. Getting sharper and sharper.
Right, yeah.
Oh, and that's too bad. If this is a blunder, that is too bad because the couple games that Allen lost were the result of getting caught, right? He got caught with Lenderman, and then the other games he won were really well played games.
Well, I mean, I'm just
Too early
okay.
to
So,
tell.
I mean, I'm just not seeing what happens. Knight G3, FG3. I mean, what? Then Rook E3, and then you're attacking the G pawn. I guess pawn to G4 is possible. Well, there you go. That traps the bishop. So my superficial look at it there. And that's also possible after, for example, Rook E3, F takes E3, knight takes G3, white can play pawn E4, trapping the bishop. So maybe I'm being a little superficial here. There might be more to this position than meets the eye. Who knows? It might even be bookable. And there'd be no way I would know.
Let's just make it a rule. If we don't know what's going on, we'll just say this has to be book.
It has to be book. I can't know everything. I mean, or even a particle of everything.
Yeah, this is what happens.
It doesn't look like it's book, though. It doesn't look like it's book. Something a little fishy about this H3 move.
Yeah, let's try to figure this out. Let's go back to board one real quick. Is this book?
Yeah.
This doesn't look like book.
Yeah, it's funny because the opening there was, okay, so white plays F4 to play knight F3 and knight E5, but black can take the G pawn. So what gives here?
Yeah, I don't know.
That they never used to play like this with black. They would always was super scared of white playing pawn to E6, and then Wesley So I think won a game where he just took the pawn at E6 or something like that, and now here's another way of declining a sacrifice. Theory has evolved to where things that were once thought were automatically bad are being given a second look at. And, black's like, okay, I took a pawn and, what are you going to do about it? White has some kind of possibilities here, but black's a pawn up. And white must have had an idea after playing F4 as what was going to happen after queen takes G4. So he's,
and maybe he's thinking here, just
trying to accelerate the knight out to F3, but then he can. It seems black can play just normal moves here and be okay. Like knight F6, intending knight E4, for example. So white's going to play knight C3, but then maybe black could even think about playing knight H5 there or something.
It's kind of a wild game right out of the gate.
Yeah, this opening is familiar to me, though. This advanced Caro-Kann with H4.
It says it's the Tal variation.
Tal-Botvinnik match. The second Tal-Botvinnik match was played a whole bunch of times. Yeah. But Botvinnik used to go back with the bishop to D7 after G4. That's the big difference, is now they're playing like Lenderman did, played bishop E4, and on F3 go back to H7 and allow white to play pawn to E6. Botvinnik, for a long time they thought that was bad, and now it seems to be perfectly fine. So just to show you how theory evolves.
Changes, yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to board two, because these happen to be interesting setups. White played H3, and Paul was looking at the potential of knight takes G3 or rook takes E3. But
Started to see some
Sure.
things that it's one thing to make a nice exchange sacrifice or even a little combination like knight takes g3, but then you got to take a look what's going to happen afterwards. Knight g3, f takes g3, rook takes e3. That looks great, and then suddenly you see, well, white can play pawn to g4. Elliott does it. I have a feeling Black's attack is quite strong, even if he has to give up a piece. So that's what Elliott's thinking here. The bishop gets trapped on f5, but there's gonna be 2 pawns for it, plus a completely destroyed white king side.
And it's curious if this was the plan all along, or if this was a blunder.
No, I think it looks like a mistake.
Yeah.
It's got that feel of, if this is theory, I'd be very surprised. I really would. It just doesn't have that look of being theory somehow. It doesn't smell like it.
It doesn't smell like theory. Let's see. Who can we peek at? I want to see a game where just people are just letting it go here.
Well, they're kind of letting it go here in Elliott's game.
Yeah.
And see, Stratus is thinking now, that's not a good sign.
Right, or else he would have just played
Right.
it. Let's go to Canales Lenderman.
Oh, yeah. So Black can play queen f5, and Black's just a pawn ahead here. And White has, nebulous attack. If White had the rest of his pieces out and was castled on the queen side, then I would say White might have something with knight e5 check or rook to g1 or something, but it's far away here. So Lenderman is just, grinding it out in these games, I've noticed, if he has to, and playing brilliantly and winning in all kinds of different ways.
Yeah, and he seems perfectly content grinding it out.
Yeah.
So taking a look at Mansour Mohammed and Rachel Tian.
Yikes.
Yeah, I see an attack.
Black, knight g5. Nice looking move. Black, I'm not sure that Black, how Black's knight ended up on h5, but so I like this knight g5 move.
Yeah.
If Black plays g6 and tries to sort of hold the fort that way, it doesn't look like it works. White can play knight takes e6. No. Tactical awareness. Okay, so f takes g5, queen h5, and White's going to win a pawn. Either at h7 or g5. Well, Black could play h6, I suppose. F takes g5, queen h5, h6. No, bishop takes g5, and if h takes g5, it's mate. Bishop h7, king h8, bishop g6, king g8, queen h7, mate.
All roads lead to mate.
All roads lead to mate. If Black can't do that. So Black is just losing a pawn here with a bad game, I think. Surprise. Knight g5. Knight g5 looks surprising, but somehow it shouldn't have been surprising, I don't think. It looks like a kind of an obvious move almost.
Yeah, especially with all the bishops pointing that way.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the last couple of moves were, though, but... Okay.
Let's go to Let's check Ashik Uzman and Ted Wang.
Ashik is always good for
Some
fireworks.
some action. Although this looks
Well, White's
developing.
got the possibility of throwing a piece into f6 or something, or bishop h6, or queen g4, and attacking players love this kind of position for White, and it does look kind of a little bit awkward for Black.
Well, now he'll go c4, right? c4 and then knight f6.
Maybe, or just queen h5, and White's go bishop g5. I don't know. There's various ways to. If White plays c4, he's got to watch out for knight b4. Knight f6 is not mate yet. It might be mate one day soon, but it's got to be calculated.
I just want people to just sacrifice, just create.
Yeah, I
openings.
want them to do for my own amusement. Yeah. Hey, this queen takes pawn. Take it.
I was watching a documentary on Go. It was the surrounding game where the organizers are trying to establish the first two Go American professionals.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it was mostly kids, teenagers that they're ranked high, right? Almost like chess, like the
Right.
kids are. And there was this one player. He was just saying, he's like, I just want to win now. Like I don't even care anymore about the beauty of the game. I just want to win. It's like you just want action, right?
That's interesting.
And actually, it was funny because that player that said that they were talking about, actually unfortunate. His name was Ben Lockhart. I found out. So this was like shot 3-4 years ago, right?
Uh-huh.
I just found out he passed away last year. He had
Oh,
cancer,
yeah.
26.
Oh, wow.
But it's interesting because he says that, but as the story follows him, he loved Go so much, he devoted his life to it. He even moved to Korea so he could train over there because there's nobody of quality to train with.
Right.
And it's tough because you go through the highs and lows being a player. I'm sure you've gone through that, the highs and lows of trying
Mostly the lows. Yeah.
mostly the lows, right? And it seemed like he was going through that because he did so much just for the pure beauty of the game, even dedicating his life to go live over there to train. But when the lows are low, you get to a point. I just need to win, and I'm not even.
Right. I just want to win a game. Yeah.
And so now it's just interesting. I loved it because there was a lot of what I see chess players go through in that. So
Chess and Go share a lot in common. They do. They're both board games with a fixed, battlefield, and they're both games with a winner and a loser, and rich traditions, and they share an extraordinary amount in common.
I'm trying to pick it up. I actually downloaded it on my phone. It's a simple trainer where you're using a 9x9 board just to understand the captures and all that stuff. So I'm curious about it. I'm trying to learn it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating game, and I'll go over some things with you. I'm no maven at it by any means, but
So Alejandro just traded queens. Is he thinking he's gonna just grab the e4 pawn?
yeah, this has now gotten quite interesting. Lenderman has seemed to have lost a big part of his advantage here, I would say, and I'm not sure exactly how it happened. It seemed to me that Black was sort of cruising along in a great position, and unless I'm really misjudging this, it seems like that White is back in the game here. I mean, he'll have to recover the pawn at e4 at some point, and hopefully he will. And then it's a fight. Even king e3 and king takes e4 is possible here.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. There was the
Amazingly enough.
Shall we check on Junior,
Sure.
Stratus Junior, and Elliot
Yeah.
Winslow?
Yeah, look, he plays at King E3. Interesting. Okay, so what I predicted, White took his compensation by taking the bishop at F5, by trapping the bishop at F5, and Elliot is now trying to crash in on the dark squares, and this is
look
brutal.
at that. Like Queen H, Queen H4.
There's a monster discovered check coming up here. I mean, knight B3. That's the only move that I can think of right now. Knight B3. What happens on knight B3? Rook
D3. Yeah, Rook D3.
Okay, so then knight takes D4, Rook D1, Rook D1, C takes D4, and White has a rook and a bishop for and a lost game. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is just what I think is Stratus is doing is deciding to play sharp openings with these guys like Lenderman and Winslow.
Yeah.
But if you're going to play a sharp opening and go for it, right? You've got to
know it.
Gotta know it. Otherwise, play something else. It doesn't make sense. It's like it's just a strategy that's bound to fail. It has failure built into it. It's like. I see it looks like this is just a devastating attack here.
Let me go to back to board one. Now I was figuring he was going to play C5 because now it's going to open up the C file.
So maybe rapid development for White. King takes E4, C takes D4, and then rook check, maybe trying to put the king on the back rank again. Of course, that the black can play King G6. Maybe it's not so good. I feel like White should be okay here. I really do, and that's my gut feeling. Whether he's going to be even C3, as conservative as it looks, allowing pawn takes pawn, and rook C8. Then you can play bishop D2, and then your other rook's coming over to F1 check, and it should be somehow balanced. I feel.
Yeah, interesting game.
Yeah. It's not clear that Lenderman has, but it reminds me of his game last round a little bit. Sort of not. Well, last time was better than this, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no! I just got to respond to something real quick.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, Lenderman is blitzing off his moves. He's used like 4 minutes. So that's that could be one reason why his position is not winning.
Paul, I will be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Should I keep it here or on Elliot's? I'll just be 2 minutes.
Switch over to Elliot's game. We'll take a look at that.
There you go. I will be right back.
Okay. Well, folks, here you have Elliot Winslow with black, a piece down, but with a vicious attack. And already, I think White's finding it hard to find a move here. If knight B3, attacking the bishop at G4, then rook D3 check, knight takes D4, rook takes D1, rook A D1, and then black plays C takes D4, rook D4, or whatever move white plays in that situation, the material is that white has a rook and a bishop, and black has a queen. And black would be quite winning that position, I think. So what's white to do? I think white got caught in the opening, played a careless move, h3, and has found himself in trouble ever since. Elliott's on the rampage here. At the very least, black is threatening rook takes c3 check, regaining his piece with a crushing. It's possible that white should just resign here. I'm failing to see a move. Okay, let's try knight b5. There we go. That seems to be a possibility. And that hits the bishop. So maybe it was too soon to resign. I guess maybe bishop e5 or taking on b2 first. Bishop e5 could be met by knight c4. Am I overlooking anything after knight b5 for black? Interesting. All right, we could try knight b5. If bishop e5, knight c4, and then queen h4, white can take on e5, not on e3, allowing mate. With bishop h2 check, king g1, bishop g3 check, king g1, queen h2 mate. That old mate. So what exactly happens on knight b5? It's that or resign, I think. And white's spending some time here. White's a talented player. He's got himself in a... No, we haven't looked at rook f2. That's true. That's a possibility. I just seems like it would add strength to queen h4, but so I didn't really look at it. I'm finding a move here for white.
What'd you do, Paul?
Knight b5.
Knight b5.
And knight b5 is played. So white's kind of in the game still with this move, maybe temporarily.
Interesting.
And black could play bishop takes b2. If black plays bishop e5, knight c4. Well, you have to do something about that bishop. That's why knight b5 is the only move.
Great Wolf is in the chat. Looks crazy, but desperate times.
Yes.
We've seen quite a few of that in some of the games. Let's go to board one and just take a peek. Alexander Lenderman is black against Alejandro Canales.
And he took my suggestion. Exactly. And now he's played pawn h5. This is really interesting and good strategy. I like it to push back black back on the back rank and then contain with this pawn h5 move. It's really nice. And it takes a lot of guts to play like this against a player like Lenderman, where you're not just trying to regain the material, but maintain a positional advantage as well. So it's very good.
And this is the kind of experience that he may not win this game in the end, but who knows? You never know what's going to happen. But you sort of develop the courage to play confidently by playing these types of players, and then
and playing and upping your game. A lot of times, some players when I've noticed this over and over and over again. When they play a master or they play a grandmaster, they'll play better than they will. It ups their game, and other players just decide to okay, slit my throat. I mean.
And then there's some.
Yeah. There's the lions and the lambs. It's like.
And there's some players that say that they play better when they play higher rated players, but then they don't. So.
Yeah. And then there's other players that just try to play their game, whatever it is, the best move or whatever it is. So Rook C8 looks like the right move here for Black. And that kind of maybe gives Black a little bit of time by threatening the pawn at C2. It's the obvious move. Yeah, and he plays it. See how good I am? Just like a grandmaster. And now
you're playing grandmaster moves, Paul.
Yeah, look at that. So White has to waste a little bit of time here by playing King T3 probably. Or Rook F2.
Rook F2 is what I was looking at, but
Rook F2, Black plays Rook F8 maybe, or Bishop H4 first. There's some interesting, or Black will play, Now Black can play King D7 too, because if King D4, Bishop C5 check. White plays Rook F2 quickly, and White wants to play Bishop F4. That's got to be White's next move, almost without a doubt. And then Rook over to G1 or Rook to D1 and start trying to, win a pawn back or something. Nice play by White. I am admiring it. Whether it's all going to hang together or not, this still seems to be the right way to play the position. And so I'm admiring White's play.
2 thumbs up for Alejandro. Let's check in on Mansour and Rachel Tiong. Looks like Mansour's got a pawn, up a pawn.
Yeah. All the advantages of the earlier, what was it, Knight G5 move?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Still complicated, but White's definitely in charge, right? Pawn up and nice active rook on the 4th rank there, but there's a long way to go. Peter Swindler wants us to see how we got here from Knight G5, the Knight G5 move.
So let's go. So this is the position, and then here was. Oh wait!
Yeah, here you go. Knight G5.
Take.
Mm-hmm. Take.
H4.
Oh, okay. So that's sharper maybe than Bishop takes G5, but Bishop takes G5 was definitely a move there.
And then they traded.
Black looks like he got away. Black looks like they got away with something, in a way.
Yeah, especially now that they traded, right? Because now
even though White's still better.
Yeah, but there's much less chaos going on.
Rook and pawn endings are all drawn.
Yeah, as we've seen, right, and proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
White's still much better, obviously here.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. It looks. I think it's Ian Wajaja and Nursultan Uzakbayev. We have a significant disparity in material here.
Well, it looks like one of those problems, white to play in mate and
In
two
three,
or something.
mate in
Yeah,
three.
mate in three. Maybe black should play rook f4 here to avoid mate in three.
Hey,
Uh,
what and where? Somebody was asking me if we heard of Tony or Guido.
I've heard about Tony because I asked at the door if Tony had been around at the door of the mechanics, and he's been seen.
Oh, good. And you've run into him in the street.
I've run into him, but not for a month or more now. And I saw David Olney.
Oh, not only David Olney. So he's still around, huh?
Yeah.
So you're seeing all the usual suspects out and about.
Yeah, well, not that many. And Barry
Captive.
Capdeville, I ran into a couple of times, but I haven't seen him for a while either. So
our regulars are lurking about.
yeah, they're ready to come back. Some of them have already survived several pandemics already. So they're
Great
well
Wolf
prepared.
David, last name only.
Yeah. When's the TNM coming back? We're doing the TNM online.
Yeah, it just ended last week. But if you're talking about in-house play, we don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, the library is not even open for people to come in. That's why they're doing curbside service. But to be honest with you, over the board, I do not even see that happening. Through October even, or even this year, to be honest. So we're trying to make the best with what we have. We love our online play and everything that's happening, but obviously it's never meant to, be instead of over-the-board play, in lieu of over-the-board play. So as soon as we can have over-the-board play in a safe way that adheres to all the regulations, we will certainly do that. But online is going to be it for now, and that's where we're at.
Well, Abel, all I can say is Mechanics Institute's very lucky to have you steering the chess club through the pandemic. I'm just going to say that right now, and I feel lucky that you're steering the mechanics, because I'm not sure that there would be any kind of chess club right now if it wasn't for you.
Well, we wouldn't have hardly the kind of online activities we do without Judith. I mean, Judith's the one that's really kind of organizing all the online stuff, and it's a team effort, of course. I mean, we all do our part and what have you, but she's just a beast in terms of. She's not just doing online events. She's actually one of the leaders in the U.S. Chess Federation for online events and for fair play and what have you. We just got a great team here. And then you with the commentary and the kind of the
me with the commentary,
the liveliness that you put into. Even doing like a show, right? Or doing an event and broadcasting. I mean, it kind of needs a soul.
We started this way before the pandemic.
Yeah, and we were doing our streaming. I mean, when I kind of joined, we were doing the DGT boards and kind of fumbling around and learning our how to broadcast events. But I mean, we had a soul and culture in how we did it that I think people were attracted to, and they had fun watching and being a part of it. And that has stayed through the pandemic, is we still have that. I think that's been the key. Sure, we have events and we do all that stuff, but I mean, we have a culture in itself, and I think we demonstrate to our players and members that, we love doing it for them and being a part of that. And I think that's really what kind of keeps everything together.
And so much of that has been retained. It's incredible that even though everything had moved online, there's still this sense of a chess club.
Yeah, and,
extraordinary,
you know,
I think.
I might be going off the deep end here, but I mean, you look at someone like, and I don't know him personally, but someone like Bill Goichberg, who's like nationally renowned for running, you know, big events and you know, multiple events, and yeah, that's what he's known for. All Goichberg tournaments and the, you know, the Philadelphia Open and the Golden State Open and all this stuff, right? But like, you know, are you remembered for kind of, you know, having your own chess community and culture and this and that, right? It's like, I mean,
it's a different beast. It's a different beast.
It's a different beast, and I'd much rather be associated with the chess culture than running big events, because I think when you're associated with the chess culture and being part of that, it's like you're part of a family, right? It's like, and that stays with you. At least for me personally, that's kind of like what really attracts me. Like, it's one thing to be kind of like, oh, the big tournament organizer, this and that, but it means something different to be, you know, you're kind of one of them. You're one of the family and part of that. Because I think that's what makes difference in people's lives, rather than makes, you know, the most entries in a tournament or whatever. You know, I'd rather make difference in lives. But I mean, you know, we have an amazing team here, like I said, with, you know, you and Nick and Judith and you know, all of us together kind of make it special. So.
And you make the best use of the materials you're given, and you
we try. I think my skill is that I try to pick the best people to make me look better than what I am. So I think I have that. So it's good for mechanics. It's good for everyone. It's good for me too. So because I certainly don't have the skills to be able to do all of this myself. But we got great people here.
So. No one person does. This is an interesting tournament as well, and an interesting game we have here between Lenderman and Canales.
Yeah, look at that. It's got a lot of pieces off the board, but a lot of action going on.
Uh-oh, I'm getting some criticism of my microphone behavior here. Nothing will ever help.
See, you get a lot of criticism in the chat that you talk like you're above the clouds like a god. Well, the fact is maybe that's the intention.
Yes.
Maybe that's just the natural.
Go forth and play chess. Go forth, my people, and play chess.
That's like one of the Catholic prayers at the end, right? You know, go forth and, you know, spread the gospel of the Lord.
Right. Yeah. Go forth and play chess.
It's like the mechanics gospel.
Yeah.
Go forth and play chess.
Yeah, look at this. Rook takes c2. What's going on here if Rook takes c2? I mean, the simplest would be maybe Rook takes, it's quite complicated. Maybe Bishop to g5.
Bishop g5.
Yeah, Rook takes c2, Bishop g5. And then if Rook a1, Rook takes e7, check, King f8, and Rook b7, or, no, wait a minute. That doesn't quite work, does it? Rook takes c2. What's the move on Rook takes c2?
c2.
Rook e7 check, yes. King e7, Bishop g5. That's obviously it. I was looking at the Bishop g5 move first, but Rook e7 check is the natural. Okay, so King takes e7 and Bishop g5, hg5, Rook takes f1, and White's got a dangerous pawn at h5. Black can start munching pawns. Rook takes b2, and then maybe White plays Rook h1 and just
There was a game I remember Alejandro Canales played. It was in one of our Tuesday night onlines that we had, and he was playing Jason Liang. It was like a 2,300 player, 2,400 possibly. It was 2,300, and he was playing really well against him, and ended up falling apart in the end. But I think Alejandro's one where if he gets the opportunity for a big player, he just is able to kind of keep his wits about him and play as he would normally play, and gets good stuff out of it.
Well, Black's got the safe side of a better game here. For example, after rook e7, king e7, bishop g5, hg5, rook f1, I think Black can just play rook h2 if absolutely necessary, eliminating the pawn at h5. And with White can only take one of those pawns. White can win the d4 pawn, but Black is left a pawn ahead. And
oh wow, look at that.
And so that's what's going to happen here. If nothing else, Black will play after hg5, rook takes f1, we'll play rook h2 and just be better.
Nice little tactic there.
Well, White sort of had to do this.
Yeah.
Now, if Black after rook takes f1, if Black has time for rook takes b2, then Black must surely be winning.
Yeah.
But it's a little dangerous because the White h pawn lives, like with rook h1 or something like that. Even though the Black king can go box it in the corner, that might be Black's. It's a little bit dangerous, but it might be the best way. Also, rook g1 is actually possible after rook takes b2, and that looks a little. Yeah, Black plays it safe with rook h2. That makes sense.
So now you just push. Rook takes, king takes.
Yeah, I mean, Black is just a pawn ahead here. This has been a failure for White. He's doing something that he should be doing. Okay, king g7, then the rook could go back to f1, and if rook takes h5, rook f7 check, king c6, and then rook e7, and at least you get a passed pawn. That's actually that. Well, no, you don't because of rook h6. So I don't even say that. That doesn't even seem to work either. So king d7. Black checks first. That's smart. Oh, that's quite good. Yeah. That's the kind of thing that's easy to overlook, always. Checking the king out of the center. Nice move. So now king d3, and then Black can play king d7, and after rook f1, rook h5. It's pretty much the same thing.
And in the Twitch chat, tonight at 7, we will have a Fisher Random tournament. I put the link up there, 7 p.m. Free, open to all. You just have to be a member of the Mechanics Institute online club. We have almost 700 of you now. So you want to play tonight, some Fisher Random. There's the link to do it. Registration starting at 6 p.m., games at 7. And we will not be covering the Fisher Random, at least on the broadcast.
Black gives White a chance to go wrong, although White has nothing here. It's just lost. Rook f7, rook h5, king d4 is the best that he can do, because if he plays rook e7, black can play rook h6. Oh, then rook g7. It's possible to continue to harass, to try to win the g pawn, and that might be the only way to draw this. Just king d5 would probably win here. It's a little bit tricky. Rook h5, rook e7, king d5, and giving up the two. Black would probably mate white in the center, rolling up the pawns before white could get much going on the queen side. So that would win, I'm sure.
So check out some of this madness going on.
Yeah.
This is Ashik Uzman is white against Ted Wang.
Usman again with the queens and the rooks.
He likes the action pieces. He likes the action.
Well, black better not play rook f4 and allow queen h5 mate. Black is in some trouble, might be in some trouble here. The threat is rook e7 is probably the main thing for white. White can just exchange some rooks. We're doing okay, but there's pitfalls for black here. How to improve your position? That's your problem with black here. Everything is beautifully placed, but now what? You've got to find a continuation. You can't play rook f4 because of queen h5 mate. What are you going to do?
Speaking of needing to find a continuation, look at this game. This is Patrick Cutt playing Luke Wajaja, and it looks like Patrick sacrificed a piece for a pawn to kind of open up the king and get this attack, but does he have something worth what he gave up for it?
Only careful analysis will tell us the truth.
That's
I have no idea.
That's very wise, Paul. That's very wise, Paul. It's probably all book anyway.
Yeah, this is a book position, I'm sure.
Let's check it on Elliot.
Bishop g6 is coming, I guess, and then white might be able to stir things up with pawn e6 or f4, f5. Yeah, what about Elliot's game?
Yeah,
that's
let's
right.
go over there. Yeah.
That game was quite wild. We should have stayed on there a bit more. So black went back to e5, and that's it. White's still waiting to play knight c4. Okay, there's only been a couple of moves.
Yeah.
So if white plays knight c4 here, not with the idea of taking the rook so much as getting rid of that bishop. Queen h4, I guess. Now knight takes rook just would fall into mate. So knight takes bishop, but then the knight joins in. Knight takes e5, threatening. Knight takes g4. Whenever I see a position like this, I'm like, this is why I never open with the queen pawn openings, because I always imagine something horrible like this happening to me.
This is your recurring nightmare?
Yeah. Rook f3 makes sense. Rook f3 makes sense. Interesting. Putting up some stout resistance here. It's good.
Yeah. Expect no less from a mechanics player.
Right.
Check out this endgame with Mansour Mohammed and Rachel Tiang.
Wow.
This is a class fodder for you.
I'm having a little bit of a slowdown on my computer, but I have to reload my page.
Yeah.
So
take your time, no rush.
Probably have to go through the advertising again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miller Lite.
So how's the kids tournament going, Judith? So Judith's managing this tournament, and there is a kids championship simultaneously going on right now on Chess Kid. So
Amazing. I'll see it. I'll see you in a minute here.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So White went to G2. It looked like he could have gone the other way to C2, and then tried to take the pawn with King B2. Maybe he's afraid of losing all the kingside pawns.
Yeah.
So now White has to win with the rook alone and the pawns, and I'm not sure that he can do it. You know, that's the question here. White's king is out of the fight completely here, and so is White's rook. Black's rook. So it's a fight between the white rook and the black king.
Yeah.
And the pawns.
Let's check on board one.
I think White should have gone the other way with King C2. This is I don't see how White's going to win this. Yeah. This is Lenderman. And Black is, okay, so what's there it is, rook E2. That just wins. Black is 2 pawns up in a rook and pawn ending.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Can't defend everything.
Yeah. The tactic where Black played rook C2 and White played rook E7 check, that wasn't enough. So White needs to go back before then to see where he made a mistake. You know? I think White was sort of in that game for a while. This reminds me of Lenderman's other victory in the round previous. It reminds me a lot of that. Sort of a good play, but just coming up a little bit short, you know?
Yeah.
Sort of the ideas are good, but the execution was not so good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I live that way. And then here's the game between Elliot Winslow and Alan Finkelstein.
Queen G5 is a nice move, of course, bringing the queen into the game and defending the rook. You gotta like Black, still with an attack. An attack and 2 pawns. And also, you know, when you're attacking, you've got the wind in your sails, you know, and it's easier to play an attacking game, as has been proven over and over and over again. So black for choice here. Maybe Rook F3 was not the right move, but I think White's been in trouble here. Good move, Queen G5 by Elliot.
And good job thus far of Alan making the most of what looked like a blunder. But yeah, he's kept it solid.
Knight C4, maybe Rook F3. Yeah, Knight C4 still holding in there. Knight C4, Rook E4, Queen C1, Queen H4. I don't know. Queen G4. Too complicated. Remember, that's another thing that we always do here. It's too complicated. Let's move on to the other game.
No, I mean that's great because I mean we're honest with our viewers, right? And if we just have no clue,
I'll always have something to say, whether it's wrong or it might be wrong, but
just say it outright. It's too complicated. I'm gonna pass, and they give me the next game.
I'll always give it a shot. I'll always give it a shot.
I was giving it a shot yesterday, like failing miserably. Here we go. Patrick Cutt and Luke Wajaja. And Luke is firing that pawn off.
It's funny. Yeah. So pawn e6 is possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
But black's going to try to play queen h6 here fast. One gets the feeling, well, I mean, maybe h5, but then the bishop can go to d3 or something. And maybe then white can chase the bishop. No, black can always play pawn to c4. And that bishop is just going to stay nice on. Black's got the idea of queen h6 here. E6, queen h6, queen e7, says Gulko fan. Good idea. Really good idea.
Queen e6, queen e7.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent idea.
Whew. Yeah.
And then maybe, who knows? Yeah, rook f8, and then queen takes a7. No, that allows queen h4 check. Yeah.
Let's do a quick peek back into Elliot's game here.
Elliot who?
Some dude named Elliot. Got IM letters by his name.
Still same situation. The players are burning a lot of time on their clock.
Yeah, Alan's really using a lot of time.
Well, he's a thoughtful player.
What else?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, knight c4.
Let me go.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's fine.
No, I'll go because there's no progress in the other game I was looking at.
All right, this is Gulko fan here involved as well. So knight c4, rook e4. Threatening the knight at c4 and threatening rook takes g4. And then Gulko fan says queen c1. And then I guess black could play queen takes g4, allowing knight takes d6. What a mess. Oh, but then you can take on e2. Rook takes e2. So what about that, Gulko fan? Knight c4, queen takes g4, queen c. I'm sorry, knight c4, rook e4, queen c1, queen takes g4. Threatening rook takes e2. That seems to be pretty strong. Maybe I should ask Leela to help.
Yeah, I was not aware that was going on.
Patrick Wolf has always been and has gotten me every time I see him infected with his love of computer chess.
Computer chess, absolutely loves it.
Yeah, he loves it, but he's right. The games are extraordinary. They really are. And his fascination with them is contagious, and I see his point. It's they're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful games. And the parallel, by the way, Abel, is in Go, where the Go programs not only started destroying the strongest players, and they thought it was going to take another 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
happened
just
already.
AlphaZero just blew open the whole thing wide open.
Well, it was AlphaGo. If in the Go world, it was AlphaGo that.
But not only that, but the games that it plays are extraordinarily beautiful. They, by human terms, they're imaginative, and what I think is it shows the magic of the game itself. That Go and chess are such beautiful games, as invented by humans in their conception, that we're able to appreciate them as played by computers, which of course are our own conception as well.
I love one of the examples they give. So it was like one of the one of the programmers of AlphaGo. He likened it because it's machine learning, right? So like the AlphaGo program, they teach it the rules,
right,
and then it plays hundreds and thousands of games, and then learns and improves from it. And he said they applied the same principle to the old game Breakout, where you're knocking that ball and you're trying to break all the pieces at the top and do that. And then when they applied the machine learning to it, it figured out that the optimal way was to use the ball to break a hole and have that ball go behind it and start breaking things sort of from the back, and so it just creates the destruction for you. And this is the thing with this machine learning. It finds what's the optimal move, and we're trying to figure out why, and it's coming up with these creative ways of playing, and not taking pieces that are there to be taken in favor of something better. And we got to understand what that something better was and why, and and how we can tame our own human emotions to try to play in that way, because chess and Go are also human games, right? We have what we think feels right, even if we can't calculate it. And
well, the thing about these computers is that they can calculate them as well, which is leads it to another level entirely. They just don't miss much, And I mean, even that incredible game that we saw with the Staunton Gambit, and that long, crazy game with the domination of the pieces, it led to what? A technical ending, a queen ending versus two rooks, right?
Yeah.
It was like, it's just amazing. How close it is. So we're getting this variation.
Yeah.
So Queen C1, Queen G4, Knight B2, Queen F1. Okay. I think I'm all for Black's attack here. Sorry.
You're all in, though.
Yeah, I'm all in for Black. Yeah.
And I think Alejandro is now dealing with the death by 1,000 cuts here.
Oh, let's see that. Oh, 2 distant pass pawns is an easy win for Black. The pawns, if they're separated by 2 files or more, it's a completely easy win. It's only when they're separated by 1 file that there can be issues.
Isn't there 1 file, right?
Yeah. Connected, of course, is a win. Sometimes when the pawns are disconnected by only 1 file, there can be technical problems. In fact, there's some book draws with the H pawn and the F pawn.
Right.
But anything else is a win.
Didn't Karyakin do
draw
that
a game maybe
with Geary, I think, or something?
Yeah. Did he? Is that a recent example?
Yeah, I think it was like a year or 2 ago, where it was king and rook against king, rook, and 2 pawns, and it was H and F, I think.
And Karyakin drew it.
And that's
a lot of technical knowledge to have.
Yeah.
I mean, to know how to draw that, you need more than just basic chess knowledge. It's a specific chess problem that can arise, and knowing
Wow.
the techniques is, it's good. It's good.
It's
It
not-
shows a champion.
It's not king and queen versus king
No,
knowledge.
no. Yeah, I tried to understand that
Oh yeah, is that right?
back in the day, yeah, but I'm not sure that I really did understand how to draw it and all that.
So Alan down to 13 minutes.
And what's happened on board one? Oh yeah, we know that's
Yeah.
an easy win.
Yeah.
And what about board 3?
Yeah, that's. I think that's this game here. Mansour and Rachel. This is where we're at now.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay, so this has been a very interesting game.
Yeah, and Dimple Pitch, Karyakin, Minister of Defense. He's known for his defensive prowess.
Well, this looks like a draw now. I mean, Black just needs to get that G pawn, and doesn't Rook D6 just win it here? Yeah. I think Rook D6 just wins the pawn.
Yeah.
Because-
you make that check on
Yeah.
G6.
And then we're going to have an easy draw, or what should be an easy draw. Huh, interesting.
Mansour's not going to take a draw.
This is the last round, correct?
Round 6. Yes, this is the last round.
Yeah.
This is round 6.
Right.
6 of 6.
Yeah. And I think Lenderman has won the tournament.
Yep.
He came to the Mechanics Institute. Is he going to play in the Fisher Random tournament?
I don't know, actually. It's probably drained because he played the Blitz last night. And then
Right. He's getting drained. His arm is is hurting from just pounding everybody.
pounding the opposition.
Yeah. Well, we've seen Mansour play for the win and lose. So anything is possible. Having I must continue to play attitude at all costs can sometimes cost you.
Yeah, and he's gotten caught in this tournament, but here at Mechanics, I've seen him win with that attitude.
Right.
Pressing on. So you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, no, and it's true. And an optimistic attitude is better than a pessimistic attitude in chess. Unless you're Petrosian. The only player to play with the only world champion with a pessimistic attitude. And here we come. White's fighting with the king.
Yeah.
And Black, of course, can, it could easily play Rook D3 check and Rook takes C3 and draw as well. So, because the Rook can just go back to C8 and win the pawn. Of course, Black can draw by taking the G pawn with either the king or the rook. And Black I like this. This kind of says to White, what are you doing? You're trying to trick me. I'll fall for your trick. Rook takes C3, no problem. The white pawn is hanging. And now Rook C8 or Rook G3, both stop the pawn. And now this is what we're talking about. I mean, this is still a draw, right?
They'll probably draw. They've agreed to a draw.
Oh, they agreed to a draw.
Yeah.
Should be a draw.
All right, back to Elliot.
Wow. So those players finished in the money, huh?
Which one, Rachel?
Yeah.
She may have actually. I have to see the final standings, but
Good.
yeah, she may have.
All right. Black now has 3 pawns for the piece. and a dark squared initiative. But white's hanging in there. White is hanging in there. And the black is trying to come in with queen e3 check or queen h4, queen f4, queen e5.
All kinds of treachery.
And I think white's in trouble. I mean, white is certainly in trouble here. Black is all over the dark squares. The one move threat is knight to e3. No, this is terrible. And
Gulko fan is saying that white looks just busted here.
I think he is busted. There's no. Knight e3 is a terrible threat here. And queen e5, of course, is a terrible threat as well. So, you know. Queen c1 is met by knight e3. I mean, that just shows you that white just doesn't have a move here. And of course, queen e3 check is a threat as well.
And Luke Wajaja defeated Patrick Cutt, so nice win by Luke. We have 4 games left in the tournament.
Wow. Is the board 1 still going on?
That is still going.
All right, let's take a look at the Grandmaster's technique, everybody. We've got to do that.
Here it is, up 2 pawns.
Blenderman just, Canales is like, show me. And Blenderman's like, okay, I'll show you. And even if the G pawn was gone, black would be winning with the Lucena position.
Right.
So just having the G pawn makes it even easier. Coming up is b2, and then the king moves out. There's just nothing that can be done. There's just nothing that can be done. It's just as hopeless gets here.
So someone in the game chat was asking if this is being relayed from the Mechanics Institute. So I am streaming from inside the chess room at the Mechanics Institute. The games themselves are online, so everyone's playing from home. But I am inside the Mechanics Institute, and if people haven't seen inside the chess room, you can see right here the chess room of the Mechanics Institute in San Francisco. I'll show you the other side of the chess room. And then I won't flip it. There's offices on the other side, and then there's an annex, which is basically like a Skittles room. And we are inside, and when we are over the board, we got a lot of action going on inside. It's a lot of fun. 40 wood tables inside the mechanics room, all over 100 years old. We have one of the largest chess libraries in the country, probably the second or third largest. And the Institute itself is just like a gem in the middle of the financial district of San Francisco. It's awesome. You gotta, and Little Pink Corvette, yeah, you definitely have to come and visit it. It's like you're playing in a museum.
Hop into that Little Pink Corvette.
and drive down to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well, after the
it's worth
pandemic,
seeing. It's worth
when it's
seeing.
open, when we're open.
Yeah, when we're open. But we will be here, and we're maintaining it. When we do open, everything will look sharp and ready to go. So to me, it's cool just to show people that everything is as it was. We're ready to show it to the world when we're open. Okay, back to the chess.
Yeah, well, let's go to one of the other games because this is a bit of a bore here. Sorry, sorry, folks. Alexander versus Alejandro.
Elliot took care of business. It's over.
Yeah, nice, Elliot. Nice, Elliot. Alan, go back to the drawing board with your openings. You're not working against the strong players.
So the Fisher Random Tournament, no prize, unfortunately, but it's all free. All free, no prize. The glory and honor. I did say that we're giving a trophy. We'll give a trophy for the Fish and Random winner with its own plaque. So, got to have something. So this is one of the last games. It's Ayan Zaman and Danny Cow. Check this out. Let's just go back.
This is a funny looking game.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Just to
rub it in.
So Mansour, it's his sleep or glory and honor. I think the obvious choice is glory and honor. So if you don't show up and play the Fisher Random, we know you're valuing the wrong things.
Yeah, Fisher Random. I'm always like, what's happened? 2 moves are gone by, and I'm not recognizing this. Chess is about pattern recognition, and some of the strongest players in the world, like Carlsen, seem to be confused by Fisher Random.
There was a video of Patrick Wolf, actually. It's on YouTube, where they put a chess position that's sort of common, right? And Lenderman wins the game. That was sort of common, and then they had him look at it for like 15 seconds, and then they asked him to recreate the position, right? So then he would recreate the position.
That's a well-known,
Yeah. And then they showed him a position that was like just randomly created, right, by a computer, but obviously it wasn't out of any kind of opening or
right.
And he had a lot of trouble remembering where the pieces
Sure,
were because your mind is set
conditioned.
on it's conditioned for
For
patterns.
Very true for chess players. But it's not a bad thing. It's just the way it's actually the way it should be.
As we train ourselves that way, yeah.
Yeah, the Fisher Random thing would probably, the younger the player is, and maybe like Wesley So seemed to be really suited for it for some reason, which is why he's the Fisher Random champion, beating Carlsen, and pretty convincingly too, I think. And part of it is just so White got swindled here, and I think, although was under some pressure. The threat is rook takes a3 mate. If bishop c3, then simply bishop takes c3.
What about king a2?
Well, king a2, rook takes b2 check.
Oh yeah, there's no other.
So bishop c3 is forced to avoid instant mate. But then black just plays bishop takes c3. And now rook d7 is possible, I suppose. But then rook a3 mate. So that's the end of that. I don't see any defense after any defense for white here. After bishop c3, bishop takes c3. All right, there you go. All right, now pawn takes bishop, threatens rook takes a3, mate again. White has to give up way too much just to avoid a simple mate. Pawn takes b4.
Oh.
And if rook d7, rook takes a3. Oh, black does this. This is incomprehensible.
That was way the wrong way to go, right?
That is just so wrong. White just plays rook b2. Now black is losing a piece.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Had him on the ropes.
Had an easy win, and then just why play bishop takes b2 check?
I think you just missed
It
it.
just doesn't mean yeah. White just plays rook takes b2. What?
Sometimes people just
It's
miss
as though
it.
I think it's as though black knew there was a combination there and just decided to try something. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like. Oh, there must be something here. I'll just try something.
I think he just didn't see it. It's just-
And now putting himself in a pin with rook d8. I don't get it.
Now you get,
These
yeah.
moves don't make. I mean, I understand black has got seconds left, but you've got to keep your head. You have to try to keep your head. Bishop d2 here, and white's 2 bishops up, or rook d2. Yeah, or Goko fan, or c takes b4, threatening rook takes a3 mate. Yeah. What a tragedy.
I mean, he could have. I mean,
What a tragedy.
he got mated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the final game of
Wow.
of the tournament.
Wow. Congratulations, Ion.
Ion survived there.
Survived. Yeah.
Yeah, and Danny Cow is like a 1,000 rated player. So I think time pressure probably got him at the end.
Yeah.
But fantastic game though. You should be really proud of that game
Experience.
because Ion is tough. So the tournament is over, and
Wow.
Judith will update the standings, and we'll put that up as soon as it is available. And let me put the link for those of you watching. The link for the standings and everything going on is right there. But Alexander Lenderman is the clear winner, 6 out of 6. Let me see.
Congratulations, Alexander. I know it was tough opposition. We really threw what we could at you, but
we try to undermine you, but
no, he really showed his class. I mean, just every game that we saw he played, he was never in serious trouble. Just it was a grandmaster class.
just technique. So Alan lost. So Elliot Winslow is going to have 5 out of 6. He's going to take second.
Nice. Congratulations, Elliot.
And so Mansour, can't remember if he won that. He drew with.
That's right. Elliot was doing good in this tournament. He just bombed out in the blitz. I forgot about that.
So
Yeah.
Rachel's going to be with 4. Patrick lost, I think. So Lenderman will take first. Elliot will take second. Alan Finkelstein lost, but he also has 4. So I think it's going to be Lenderman with 6, Winslow with 5, and then Alan Finkelstein and Rachel Tiong with 4. And
Wow.
that's going to be.
But some players really provided a lot of entertainment, more than their score would.
Absolutely.
Mansour, and Ashik and Ion all get high marks in that regard.
Yeah, I mean they played some entertaining fighting
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Patrick Cutt also.
Yes.
played some fighting chess, and he actually had a close game also against Lenderman, or he fought him. And I got to give it up. I mean, his score doesn't reflect it. I mean, he got 2.5 out of 6, but Adam Mercado lost a couple of games where he was just like, the coffin, they were throwing the dirt on top of it. And he came back and he gave himself a chance. And on one occasion, we thought he came all the way, but then.
Oh, yeah.
It was just
those
one
two
move.
crazy games yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, got all about those.
And it's just fun watching kind of the mechanics players put up a fight because it's been updated. So let me see if I can. Well, I'm not going to do it on the screen where people can see because you won't see the points. But if you go to that link that I put up, it'll show it, and I'm going to go to it to see if it shows. And there it is. So Alexander Lenderman wins first, $200, 6 out of 6. Elliot Winslow, $100 for second, 5 out of 6.
Congratulations.
And Luke Wajaja actually came up with 4 points. We actually have a 4-way tie. The two brothers, Luke and Ian Wajaja.
Wow.
$50 each. And
Congrats.
Alan and Rachel Tiong. Also, all with 4 out of 6. So 4 kids tying for third and getting.
How cool is that?
$50.
That's great.
Yeah, and nice job with Elliot coming back from that loss to Lenderman and
Winning the rest of his games.
the
Yeah.
rest of his games against Mansour and Allen, who are tough players in their own right. So that is a wrap for the main event. Thank you to all the players for playing, and I just want to give a thank you to National Master Michael Walder coming in the morning and helping me out, call the game, and none of this would have been done without Dr. Judith Stare, who's in the other room here at Mechanics.
Hi, Judith.
We will rate someone, but let's give Judith some props because
Absolutely.
she paired all the rounds, got everything together, the emails letting everyone know what they got to do and where they got to be, and she's also running the helpline. So if something's not going right, you just call into Zoom and then you see Judith right there. So. She does a lot. She works hard. So hope everyone just appreciates the time that she puts in.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to raid someone. So Judith, what research do you have of who we can do a raid? And I guess it's Sabina Foissor's birthday, and she is on. So it looks like we're going to raid her.
Oh, cool.
So thank you everyone for watching, and if you got the time tonight at 7 p.m. the Fisher Random Tournament, Mechanics, it's free as long as you're part of the Mechanics Club. You can play in it, and let me get that link and post it up there. So if you want some Fisher Random action, play casual. You don't even have to play all the rounds if you don't have the time. Elliot
won $100.
You won $100.
Congrats.
Yeah, he's probably unaware of that. So, all right, everyone. I'm Abel Telemontes, chess director of mechanics for FIDE Master Paul Whitehead and Judith Stare. Thank you all for supporting us, for playing in our club, and join us on Tuesday. It's a week break from the Tuesday night marathon, but we're gonna have. Tuesday night online, free. We will stream it and broadcast it. It'll start at 6:30. It's like our other TNOs that we've had. It'll be 5 rounds, G10 plus 2. So we're going to continue the fun on Tuesday night. All right,
Okay.
everyone. Bye.
I will, Elliot.
Thank you for watching.